Weather forecast in America for October 5th, 2025. Hey there, sweet friends, and happy Saturday! Welcome back to our cozy little corner of the internet, Sunny Storm Scoop. I'm your host, and I'm so glad you've joined me for your weather forecast. If you stepped outside today, you know the U.S. weather map is absolutely wild. We've got summer heat in the 90s battling full-on blizzards. It's an active and potentially record-setting U.S. weather live situation. You absolutely need to stick around until the very end because I have a crucial, surprising detail about the cold air out west, a major weather alert that affects whether you need a coat or an air conditioner next week. I'll reveal the exact day that huge heat dome finally breaks. You won't want to miss that date. Now, let's dive into your update for October 5th through October 7th, 2025. Let's begin with a big picture look across the entire country. If you take a peek at the weather radar, you'll see a classic clash of seasons today. A powerful upper ridge is pushing record-challenging heat across the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Meanwhile, a cold front and an upper low are sweeping across the west, bringing much cooler temperatures, rain, and snow. The battleground for rain is the Central Plains and the coasts. This dramatic pattern gives us our most critical storm warning and heat alert story for the weekend. Let's take a closer look at what this means for you, starting with the biggest story, the heat. A stronger than typical ridge is allowing for another day of well above normal temperatures across most areas east of the Rockies. Temperatures are most extreme across the upper Midwest today, where the forecast calls for temperatures to even reach the low 90s in places like Minneapolis, where the average high is in the 60s. Highs in the 80s are likely across the Great Lakes to the northeast through the weekend. The good news is that a cold front will gradually sneak across the Midwest and cool temperatures there slightly by Sunday, but especially by Monday. Now out west, things are dramatically different. An upper low is moving across the Intermountain West today. These disturbances are pushing cold fronts through the region, allowing for cooler than average temperatures, particularly in the Great Basin today and into the northern Rockies tomorrow. Highs will feel particularly cool, around 10 to 20 degrees below average, with many lower elevation areas only reaching the 50s. This cold air aloft is supporting precipitation, with lower elevation rain and higher elevation snow. Finally, the coastal rain. A weak surface low will provide support for rain and thunderstorms across Florida and the central Gulf Coast. Easterly flow means the rainfall will be focused over the east coast of Florida. Heavy rain could also sneak onshore to the central Gulf Coast, allowing for isolated flooding concerns in both areas due to high rain rates. Now, for a very important set of weather alert messages across the country. First, the heat. Record-breaking high temperatures and warm minimum temperatures are likely today. Heat risk shows major conditions for much of Minnesota, indicating the heat could affect anyone without proper cooling and hydration. Second, the rain and flood threats. A marginal risk of excessive rainfall is in place for parts of the Great Basin today, where locally heavy rain could cause isolated flooding. Additionally, a marginal risk of excessive rainfall is in place over the weekend for the east coast of Florida and the central Gulf Coast due to heavy rain. Third, the storms and snow. The Storm Prediction Center shows a marginal risk of severe weather for potential high wind and hail across the central Rockies and the central and northern plains as that cold front approaches. Most dramatically, we have winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories in effect for areas of Montana and Wyoming, with 6 to 12 inches of snow generally forecast through Sunday night. Fourth, the wind. Gusty southerly winds and warm temperatures ahead of the cold front could lead to elevated fire weather concerns in the central and northern plains today and into the Midwest tomorrow. We have a few gentle tips to help you navigate this dramatic weekend. If you're in the upper Midwest, treat the heat like July. Stay cool and stay hydrated. If you're near the Atlantic or Gulf Coast, be aware of gusty winds, rip currents, and high surf. For our friends heading into the mountains of Montana and Wyoming, please take all storm warning advisories seriously and be prepared for winter driving conditions. As we wrap up our sweet weather forecast for the weekend, remember that the weather is a dynamic, beautiful show. Now, for the crucial weather alert detail I promised you at the start of this video. The exact day that huge heat dome finally breaks. The heat wave that has been gripping the Central U.S. will begin its final significant cool down starting Monday morning as the cold front finally sweeps across the Midwest. Knowing when relief is coming is the best weather alert of all. Thank you, sweet souls, for letting me be a small part of your day. If this weather forecast helped you plan your weekend and stay safe, please tap that like button, subscribe to Sunny Storm Scoop, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next gentle report. Share your feelings about the snow and heat below. I'd love to hear from you. Stay safe and let the days wrap you in happiness. Catch you next time.